Your this is your first business, BarnWiz, but you come from a family, a legacy of people who have been in business before. Do you think that helped kind of steer you in the direction of doing this, or what made you kind of realize that this was the road for you?
I'm sure it did, right? I mean, I grew up with a family that only talked business at our dinner table. I mean, I'm not sure how many people have that experience, but it was always solving business challenges. So I
Not me.
relate to 1 million cups as my, nightly dinner table because there was always, my parents started their company when I was in middle school. And so, from a pretty young age, we were always solving problems of the business. And so, and they're a retail shop, and retail has had ups and downs, since the 80s. And I think that really did help me understand it's not just going to launch and be successful, even though I really wish that had happened. I think the reality was things take time, and it's good. You're much more stable in that process.
Well, it's interesting you brought up a real interesting point that it's easy to overlook in the sense of, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I mean, that's the stuff that you talk about at the dinner table. It's not like you just punch your time card and then you don't think about it again until you punch back in the morning. I mean, it's just, you've got to own it. You've got to eat, sleep, breathe, and constantly work on that business to improve it. And that's not always, it's not the game for everyone to play. So the sooner that you can figure out, hey, is this something that is in my DNA, or do I want a 9-to-5? There's nothing wrong with either, but you need to determine, this is who I am as a person, and this is what I'm going to go after. So for you, I mean, that was just always part of your life. So it's an easy decision to make, that it's like, hey, I'm willing to put in the time and work as many hours as I need to solve the problem that I'm setting out to solve.
There has to be that, push. For me anyways, it was really IBM saying our roles were being disbanded and we were going to be moved to another division that I didn't believe in. And I've learned about myself, if I don't believe in something, I really can't sell it well. And so it was an opportunity to just fully engage in BarnWiz. And I think eventually I would have done that anyway, but maybe not at that exact moment. And so I think I've heard other people talk about, how things happen in your life that push you into, a position that you have no other choice but to, start a business or move or whatever. And that ends up being the best thing that ever happened to you. And I think that's sort of that situation happened for me.
Are you technical? As in the website, did you develop? Did you hire someone to do it? How does the process of that go down?
Yeah. So I would say I'm technical in the way that I understand how we need to create it and how the be utilized, but I'm not a developer. And so I do hire developers. In fact, I'm recruiting for a full stack engineer right now. If you know of anybody that's looking and interested in our project, love to talk to them. But yeah, I think I'm much better at a bigger vision, and I think that's where I'm a better use of our communal talents, is to help me, share the bigger vision, sales, and fundraising and that kind of stuff that we need to do.
A lot of non-technical founders have challenges with finding talent, understanding the process and things like that. Are there any tips that you've gone through that have been pretty helpful in that scenario?
Surround yourself with the smartest engineers that you can, even if they work for someone else. I mean, I think it's knowledge is power, and so I feel very fortunate to have friends that are engineers, and I can ask, who should I look for, and can you help vet people, and can you help network and help me find resources, and so that I talk with people about how do they find engineers, and how do you learn from what's the latest process. Because I think the other part about being sort of that engineer, that non-technical resource, the benefit is you're not stuck with certain technologies that you are comfortable using. And so I think that's other benefit of if you're just technical enough to learn some technologies and you're open to having conversations with how are people building things, how are people, because technology is moving so fast. And so I think it's a opportunity to ask anyone that's hiring or anybody that's, has teams that are building tools. What are you using? How do you solve this problem? Even if you already know how you're going to solve it, I think it's an opportunity to learn about how others are solving it and take advantage of an opportunity to maybe use that tool yourself.
How did you go about growing your team? I mean, one of the things that you talked about was the fact that, hey, my time is best spent doing something else. So talk about your team, who's on your team, and how did you go about building that team?
I feel really fortunate, and people sort of have come to me through networking, I guess, just knowing people. I have people that help in marketing that have just aligned with me from other friends, people that help with sort of the operation side of it that I've met through the horse industry, and on the finance side, just really through networking mostly. And so I'm a big proponent of meeting people and always talking about, if I see any talent in anyone, one of the people that it has helped us is someone that I met just randomly. I was working as a clerk in a tax shop, and he came in, and we just started talking. And so I think, I just start, if I see something in someone or just start a conversation, it ironically does lead a lot of times to, people that I enjoy working with.
And the financial aspect of that, bootstrapped? Have you raised money? How's that going?
So we bootstrapped up until last September. We closed the $250,000 friends and family round, and so that really helped us create sort of our next wireframe and sort of what technology would we add to the platform to grow it, and also enables us to hire an engineer.
I've been directly involved within our entrepreneurial community for years. And the most common question I get is, Tim, I want to get involved, but I don't know what events I should attend. Well, StartWheel eliminates that pain point because we consolidate all the events you should attend into a single calendar. Now you'll be in the know and see where to spend your time. Gone is the need to search multiple websites and calendars. Just head to startwheel.org and see for yourself. That's startwheel.org.